Quality Control Improvement, Module 1, Lecture 2, DMAIC. Learning Objectives for Lecture 2 to explain the 5 steps of DMAIC. Reading assignment is Chapter 2, pages 48 to 57. So this particular chapter, I encourage you to kind of skim over. It sort of lays the framework for DMAIC and talks about the various parts of DMAIC. We'll be using these tools throughout the semester. So DMAIC is a structured problem-solving technique consisting of the following steps. First, it's define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. And those have the acronym of DMAIC. DMAIC is usually associated with Six Sigma, but it can be used with any business or process improvement effort. Individual projects are the key focus of DMAIC. However, all projects are not suitable for DMAIC. A project should represent a potential breakthrough in the sense that it will result in a major improvement in the product or service. The project impact should also be evaluated in terms of its financial benefit to the business. And this should be evaluated by the finance or accounting unit as a major improvement in the product or service. The value opportunity of projects must be clearly identified, and projects must be well aligned with corporate business objectives at all levels. The first step of DMAIC is what's known as the define step. In this case, we come up with a plan. We come up with a reason for why we're doing the DMAIC on this particular project. So this is an example that the book lays out that shows you how to set up the define step. So first of all, let's look at a business case. So let's say that we're looking at a project that supports the business quality goals, namely reduce customer resolution cycle time by X% and improve customer satisfaction by Y%. So we come up with what's known as a goal statement. This is to reduce the overall cycle time for return products from customers by X% year to year. We come up with the plan for the project. We come up with a timeline of when the steps are going to start and when they're going to end for each of the steps of the DMAIC. We come up with what's known as an opportunity statement. In this example, let's say it's an opportunity that exists to close the gap between our customer expectations and our actual performance by reducing the cycle time of the customer return process. We come up with a project scope. The overall response time is measured from the receipt of the product returned to the time that either the customer has the product replaced or the customer is reimbursed. We come up with the list of the members of the team. Who's the team sponsor? Who's the team leader? Who are the individual team members? Our next step is the measurement step. The purpose here is to evaluate and determine the present process state. We want to identify the key process input variables and the key process output variables. We want to look at data from historical records, from sampling, from observational studies. We may use histograms, box plots, Pareto charts, scatter diagrams, stem and leaf diagrams. All may be useful in determining the underlying process. Our next step is the analyze step. Here we want to determine the cause and effect relationships. We want to determine the sources of variability, the common cause versus assignable causes. Our tools here are primarily the control chart, but we'll also use hypothesis testing, confidence intervals, regression models, failure modes, and effects analysis. Our next step is the improve step. Here we want to look at our process and redefine it to reduce bottlenecks, mistake proofing. Statistical tools we'll use as primarily designed experiments. Designed experiments can be applied to either the physical process or its computer model of the process. We may do a pilot test, the solution to confirm that it will actually solve the problem. Next step is the control step. Complete all the remaining work on the project. Provide the process owner with a process control plan. Produce training documents if appropriate. Look at the methods and metrics for future audits. Transition plan to the new process might include a validation step.